welcome back to V-buzz. You're still with us, Jay and myself, Juanita, and we are on to one of our favorite subjects, music. Now, it's not uncommon for musicians to reinvent themselves over time. We've seen the likes of Madonna, Snoop Dogg, P. Diddy, and more reinvent their musical style, and some even to the extent of changing their stage names, like in the case of the late, great Prince. Our next guest is someone who chose to follow down the same path as his musical journey evolved. Christian Palencia started off making waves in the music scene as a Barefoot musician and now is piquing our interest as the last one awake. He's here today to chat with us about his musical journey and what inspired his new musical persona. Welcome to V-buzz, Christian.
Thank you for having me, guys.
It's an absolute pleasure having you here and your bare feet here as well.
My bare feet, I'm wearing socks today.
Representing. Brilliant.
Pineapples.
You have pineapples and Jay has monkeys.
I've got bananas and monkeys on my socks. But you know, going back, you know, bananas, monkeys, pineapples sounds like my childhood right there. But speaking of childhoods, you know, were you musically inclined as a child?
Incredible segue, I must say. No, I wasn't actually. My parents were actually DJs, and my sister Mia Palencia was, well, the youngest #1 jazz musician in Malaysia. And I just wanted to sort of be a Backstreet Boy. Like, I had the middle parting and everything. I was going to be the Nick Carter, exactly. I just wanted to, yeah, but anyways. No, so it was just days and days after days of just learning how to play the guitar and singing and eventually sort of getting there.
Right.
So in terms of labeling myself, I don't really consider myself much of a musician. I call myself a storyteller or a songwriter because I put it into the writing.
And you also, you know, this even went on in your schoolwork as well. Was it true that you made your maths and your history lessons, you know, more interesting, easy to understand by incorporating them into music? How did you do that?
It's not just math and history lah. To be honest, you know, moral nilais, you have to do an SPM. Oh, the only way I could memorize them was in my really, really cheap second-hand MP3 that I got from my sister. I had to buy my MP3 from my sister. No?
Wow.
Yeah. I would have to record my voice singing the nilais just so that I would remember it and do it in SPM.
Wow.
Yeah. And learned a lot of like traditional musical instruments and widen my knowledge through YouTube. It interests me in more of history. So, you know, all these little nuances that you get from your little interests all over your canvas, you eventually start gravitating towards like liking history and liking math. Yeah, so I put it all together and thankfully I got a scholarship and I went to college and everything.
Wow,
yeah, it was
great.
Yeah.
So it worked. You know, I tried doing that, didn't work, because I'm not a songwriter. So when did you realize that you wanted to make, you know, music your career though?
That was a huge thing. I thought it would be pretty boring. I thought I would wake up one day and go, okay, I'm gonna do music, just like, you know, just want to be a rock star, play my guitar. But no, I was actually in a Stadium Negara, if I'm not mistaken. Mia was having a concert, trying to break the biggest jazz concert in Malaysia, the record for the biggest jazz concert. And I was just walking around, seeing them build the stage and looking at the seats and going, I hope one day I could make all these people in this stadium feel something they've never felt before. Wow. And that was the mission. Like, as idealistic as it sounds, that's exactly what I wanted to do, quite honestly.
But you know, most musicians, they start out that way. It all starts with a dream, you know, and eventually you work your way towards. Now, you mentioned your sister, Mia. How big of a role was your family and your sister in particular in shaping your decision to embark in a career in music?
None really, to be honest. They were very supportive, don't get me wrong, and Mia has always pushed me. But the decision, just like anybody else in the world, should be yours entirely. And I was very lucky to discover it at a very young age.
Well, you followed your sister around a lot, you know, when she would do her gigs and stuff. Was there anything in particular? What did you learn from your sister?
My sister has an incredible voice.
Yeah.
So what she gave to me was motivation to train every day, because I've never had the best voice, really, honestly speaking. But my parents can vouch for me when I say I would stay up every night just sort of singing Backstreet Boys at the top of my lungs.
Wow.
Eventually sort of getting to a point where people do enjoy my music. But I really do prioritize the writing. Mia's not just a great jazz singer. She came to KL and eventually after a few years started writing her own songs, and she is amazing.
Yes.
I think out of everything she's done, that's the most inspiring, especially when she writes about our grandparents and our great-grandparents in our past. It's just a totally different level of songwriting.
So it's safe to say you definitely count, you know, your sister Mia, as well as the Backstreet Boys as some of your influences. But who else do you count as your influences?
Switchfoot. Switchfoot,
Oh,
Switchfoot,
I
Switchfoot.
love Switchfoot.
Do you guys remember Switchfoot?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, it was so
What is it
long
about Switchfoot that got you hooked?
ago. They were the first concert I went to.
Okay.
And also, just the way John Foreman writes his songs, there are two kinds of musicians, ones that are very entertaining,
Yep.
and ones that you sort of connect with better. Because it's either you go to have a good time or you go to sort of connect with the musician. John Foreman is one of the few musicians, just like John Mayer, who can do both. And when I watch Switchfoot, it's just, I can feel everything he's saying, even though it's just a loud, like, rock song, right? So he was, well, they were one of my biggest influences, as well as McFly. Do you guys remember McFly?
Yes, I remember
McFly.
McFly.
All these boy bands with middle partings, I think.
That is 3 British guys, right? If I was not mistaken, McFly.
Yeah, 4.
4 of
Four
them.
of them.
British
Okay.
guys,
Right.
yeah.
But what about you? What is your musical style? How would you describe it? Because you said that you have more storyteller. You're a storyteller kind of musician. How would you describe your sound?
I wouldn't really want to label my sound.
Yeah.
However, people have said it's a genre that's sort of never done before, and they call it midnight music.
Okay.
They've dubbed it midnight music. We went with storyteller music at first as a direction in music business, right? But over time it unraveled, and they said midnight music was sort of the thing. And it's basically sort of the frequencies or the resonance that you get sort of late at night.
Yep.
And it's very personal. It is extremely personal. There are some happy, cheeky songs, but in those happy, cheeky songs, there are hidden nuances and meanings underneath words or guitar parts to bring out sort of hidden Easter eggs, to sort of tell a deeper story if you listen to it over and over again.
So you get little surprises along the way, you know. It's never the similar sort of listening experience, it's different as well every time. And I think on your Instagram, you know, you describe your music as, you know, sea deep and moon bright as well.
Yeah.
But you know, so you have a thing where you don't want to be confined to a genre. Why is that? You know, most artists will always say, I'm a pop artist, I'm a jazz artist. What is it about genres that makes you want to stay away from confining yourself?
Yeah. I believe in a constant evolution of a musician.
Yeah.
It does sound a bit idealistic or pretentious, if you may. But the fact is, we as human beings do have to grow, right? And to constantly connect with people, you have to sort of grow with them as well.
And evolve.
And evolve. So not liking one specific type of genre. I do like a lot of different types of genres, and I meet so many people playing so many different instruments. I was in Tasmania recently, and I picked up the electric guitar for the first time. Yeah, first time. I'm 22. I should be like a rock star learning that in my garage a long time ago. But yeah, first time Fender Telecaster, and wrote about 8 songs within a week, and it was all totally different compared to the songs I have now. We're so excited to release it.
And Telecaster's a good guitar to pick up, first guitar anyway.
That's hard, no? Telecaster for a first electric guitar?
Yeah, it's totally, but the sound, especially since I looked up to John Mayer as well, you sort of get a grasp over it, and it sort of tells a story. The guitar is something totally different.
Okay.
Right. So you also perform in a lot of places barefoot.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It started off as a joke, quite honestly. I was 13 when I started performing barefoot. And when I was 17, TEDx Youth KL invited me to be a presenter. And we had to think of some sort of title for my talk. And as a joke, I was like, the barefoot musician? And my niece sort of went, oh, you perform barefoot all the time, just do that and see whether it works. And they loved it. And my fans loved it, and it became a thing. And I was playing with the loop pedal, sort of like what Ed Sheeran started doing. And then started playing his stuff as well. But people started being excited, and they started coming to my performances not only to feel and sort of to be emo with me, but
For the fancy footwork as well.
for the fancy footwork. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Very cool. But you know, you went on, you know, from, you know, using your real name, Christian Palencia, to the last one awake. Why are you the last one awake? What prompted this name change?
What does the last one awake sort of mean to you?
I mean, if I was the last one awake, you know, I would think, yeah, I survived, but I'm a bit lonely.
Yeah.
Am I on the right track?
So imagine yourself sort of awake at 3 a.m. You've tried to sleep multiple times, right? And then you start thinking. And then there's just this immense amount of silence. It's just you, right? This presence you start to feel. And then suddenly a huge wave of emotion hits you, right? Some people start bawling, some people start singing or writing, or it's the tender hour. It's
when the feels.
The feels, right? When the feels come. And that's what I kind of wanted to label my music as, if I had to. So I wanted to be original and be true to myself, and The Last One Awake was just that.
Right.
So if you've heard the song The Last One Awake, it's not actually about a girl. It sounds like it is, but it's totally about silence.
Wow.
Singing about silence.
Right.
So it's totally tender, and when it comes to the bridge, everything just hits in with a lot of distortion, reverb, a lot of high vocals. Because that's the illustration of that feeling.
Yeah, it's an outburst of emotion right there.
It is.
Very cool.
Right. Yeah. So how is this new identity different in the terms of your music, also making your music?
I tried to write at that time of night. However, I have decided to write a song a day for a year last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then now it's just become habit to constantly write songs. It usually ends up like you end up writing 50 songs of the same topic, and then you get the best one, right? But this is a great box to confine yourself in. Right? It's a great place to be creative in. In music business, there's a lot of people who say, like, you know, when you sell out when you write pop music. But come on, let's be real here. This is a business, right?
Yeah.
And to have rules to say that these are the regulations to sort of make a great pop song so that you can make it. It's a great box to be creative in.
Yeah.
It's talk out of the box, but like you're a musician and you want to make a living, right?
Yeah.
You're a musician. Yeah. So The Last One Awake, I think, is my box, and I'm very happy to stay in this and sort of
Stay in the box.
Yeah, stay in this box and pull inspiration from stuff, and hopefully people enjoy this as well.
You know, it's you know, I know you're talking about the box, but it's not a small box. It's a
It's
huge box with so many eclectic, you know, different kinds of influences. And you know, of course, you've been mentioning that you've been writing a lot lately, and you mentioned the album. So I need to know. Let us know a bit more about the album.
I don't know if I can.
How many songs in the album? Because you wrote so many songs. Is it like a full-on Taylor Swift? I don't know. It's like 30, 40 songs in an album.
Funny thing though, they've been referring to me as a Malaysian Taylor Swift. I think it's because of the breakup songs. I think I'm gonna hold that back a little bit more. No, it's 12 to 13 depending how you listen to it.
Oh,
That's what I can say. And I can tell you that I will be out latest by October. There'll be a few singles before then. But it is a rite of passage. It goes from point A to point B, and then full circle.
You know, when writing an album such as this, you know, you have so many songs that you've collected the songs along the years. And you know, as we were talking about the box before this, it's a very big box. So how do you know, not confine yourself to a genre or into a particular box, but yet still retain your identity?
It's let's talk about this as a person, right? You have no time in your life to be anybody else. Once you have decided who you are, or rather, once you've discovered who you are, there's really no going out of that. Everything else is just a distraction. How to maintain who I really am? I'm just who I really am. Yeah, that's just it. Like, as far as the box goes, as far as genres goes, as far as pop music goes, or trying to make a living in a world filled with distractions, I'm in a very safe place, or rather, people can be in a very safe place to know that they'll always be themselves, because there's no time to be anybody else.
Just keep it real.
Keep it real.
That's very true. A while ago, you said that you wanted to teach underprivileged children through film and music. How's that going for you? How's that journey so far?
Wow, that was so long ago.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Actually, thinking about it, we had a few events that had all of the. Wow, it's like the whole secret thing where you put it up on a chalkboard and then suddenly it all reveals that you actually did it. I would like to pay more attention to that since you brought it up from this day onwards.
Yeah, but I think in everything you know, making music, you do reach that part of.
You get to a point where you get emails and you get texts that are very personal. Ones that I would not like to publicize, but it's a huge responsibility when somebody dedicates their life to you. And I'm glad that my music has reached that kind of depth with people. And I hope that charity-wise and through to underprivileged kids or people who need help in general.
Yeah,
that my music can
Music can definitely heal indeed. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today, Christian.
Yeah, no worries.
You know, it's been a brilliant time, you know, getting to know about the music, you know, the arts, the culture. You know, do you think that you would be able to like write a song a day, every day?
A song a day, it will take a lot of practice, right, Christian? It takes a lot of practice.
Discipline.
A lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, but you know, this man right here, he's put in all the hard work, so all the best to you. Looking forward to it.
Yes,
now, something else that everyone is looking forward is tomorrow's episode of V-buzz. We sit down with award-winning photographer Patrick Lau to talk about his expertise in the art of photography.
Yes, and we also chat with filmmaker Jason Lim about what inspires his socially conscious content.
Speaking about being conscious, on V Eats, we check out what the goodness Green Cafe has to offer Sharita.
Oh, as always, keep writing to us at vbuzz@astro.com.my. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at vbuzz_HD.
Yeah, that's right. Turn that blue button green. Follow us for all of our cool snaps. It's been a cool show from me, Jay Walia.
And me, Juanita.
Take care, good night, and bye-bye.